So 6th of April, 6:50. Today's my 28th day of the fast. I feel incredibly energetic, but I also feel very tired, especially physically. My dreams are so vivid. I'm in there the second I shut my eyes, even without sleeping, which is both interesting and fun. Today's Sunday, so I'll be going to church, which I always look forward to. But to be honest, at this stage of having shed everything away almost, you're almost in complete awe of everything. Where I've kind of reached already before the fast, but with the fast, you're really within the love of all living things. I wanted to actually make a quick video on my morning routine maybe, but I reckon I'll do that tomorrow because today I do have to be more focused on my routine and be ready for church in the next few hours. So tomorrow I promise I will do that because I haven't really shared what I do in the mornings, you know. I don't do much, like, as in take supplements or anything. I wanted to just show exactly how I make my electrolytes. Some days I'll take lion's mane capsules, but I'll empty the powder. Some other days I'll take some amanita capsules, which I make myself from dried amanita. But again, I don't take the capsule. I just empty the powder. That's pretty much it. Drink a load of water. Do some subtle moves. Perform my ablution. Say my prayers, and they've been very emotional recently. I mean, incredibly intimate. And yes, when I mean emotional, I mean crying even. And then get into a stretch. Stretch as much as I can, especially my hips, but starting from the neck down to the feet. Then go out into the garden, perform some rituals, going in circles, using the sunrise, sunset, the moon, the elements, Mother Mother, the water, the earth, the air, the sacred flame, combining and moving them together with love and the divine. I use a lot of Sumerian words. Then coming back inside, I was doing a few moves, exercises, but I've really shortened them, and actually for the last 2 days I haven't done any, I've been having some pains, as I said, in my rib. My sternum's kind of hurting. My muscles have deteriorated a lot, so it's normal for bones to start feeling pain. You know, sitting down, you're just sitting on bone. So the pain also kind of helps to stay focused. You know, the suffering we have here is also a form of blessing. 12 days left now, which really isn't much, but things have become, how do I put it? I believe we're also at a magical period. Things are incredibly magical. It's the best word I can describe them. Things are happening exactly as they should, which has kind of been overwhelming because it's been clashing with this. I was mentioning this to Carlos yesterday. Actually, me and him had a long conversation, and I'll be uploading a whole conversation, a couple hours long. I'll upload that on a single video on YouTube. Again, Carlos is a dear friend of mine who I met during one of his. He has these nada sessions, which are ear acupuncture sessions, and nada meaning you cannot get it wrong. You know, you need to allow the freebies to be. Let your body be. It's gonna be no matter what you do. Let your breathing be. It's gonna breathe no matter how you condition yourself. And let your brain be. It's gonna brain no matter how much you want to brain or you want to acknowledge it's there or not. And you cannot get it wrong. And he's also a doctor, so he did a few checkups yesterday on me. Yeah, he's also a doctor, so I allowed him to do a few checkups on me yesterday. But that's not what's important. Is he came to show support, and having his love and his energy is a great blessing. You know, being someone who's a part of that sun, bright as can be, and it's very contagious. I already have it. Sometimes I ignite him and he ignites me, and I need to be, at this stage especially, incredibly humbled by everything I do, everything I say, every energy I have. Everything is very sacred, and it leaves you in a place of pure truth and balance, where there is no space for anything else. Honestly, there's certain things almost unexpressible. And intuitive knowledge is something you can only express once you've refined the honey. Then you share the sweetness. So hello everyone, today's 6th of April, it's my 28th day of fasting. It's currently, 8:20, and yeah, I sound alive, but that's because it's a little later on in the day. This morning, honestly, I felt drained. I couldn't get out of bed. I needed to go to church, and yeah, it took me forever to get out of bed, honestly. My dreams have become more and more vivid. They've also become somewhat very profound. This deep in, you feel like you're letting go of so many things. As I said, down to a cellular and spiritual level, the cleanse. You always, every day I feel like I know something, and every next day you realize that yesterday you didn't know anything. And all of this kind of resonates with that very word, amagi, the Sumerian word for freedom, for renewal, for social harmony, and return to mother. The future is in the past, Where we come from is a non-linear place, and for us to reach that spot, we must truly let go. And I'm not urging anyone to fast, especially not long period, but I'm not saying people shouldn't fast. I believe, as I've said in my earlier comments, there's no external answer. There are easy answers, or very intuitive and simple, but they're very painful. And today, again, and today was a hard day. A lot of lightheadedness. I go to an Orthodox church, so there's a lot of standing. I could probably do 80, so I probably did 85% of the standing. I couldn't do all of it. My legs were giving in. I could force myself, but again, this has helped me to not be naive. This fast has also helped me to not be so stubborn with my discipline, and that it's okay to be weak, or rather, it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to listen to your body and not push it. But that allowed me to have more profound experiences at church. I got to sit down and really breathe and feel the energy, and I became more one, and it was one of the more profound, and it was one of the more deep and emotional days at church. But saying that, I woke up very emotional. I messaged my friend Carson saying, hey, I get to meet a lot of his friends. We do a lot of group stuff on how to help each other financially. We have a lot going on. We're very supportive of one another. We're all very bright people that want to help people, empathetic, altruistic, very deeply spiritual, very free. And as I said, I go to church, but I go late a lot of the time. We leave early sometimes to link up in the canteen, to link up in the cafeteria, to have conversations. So we're not sequentious within our religious ways. And again, for the longest time, I've been very intuitive, coming from a lineage of Alevi Dedes, whom I'm supposed to be a last lineage of that, which I tried to escape for the longest time. It always kind of cringed me out. Again, as a kid, I wasn't interesting. Like, I never really fit in. Alice in Wonderland syndrome, living in a non-linear dream state, incredibly powerful migraines. I've had so many MRI scans. I've passed out so many times. I've had to spend a lot of my time in dark rooms, in a quiet place. I've lived life in interesting ways where I couldn't explain to you. Like my sister, who's close to 4 years younger than me, I'd spent so much time with her before she was born, gave her her name, etc. So many other things that I would love to share with people, that I believe with our now understanding of quantum physics, that things actually make more sense, and I'm able to articulate them, especially some days more than others. I have a very neurodiverse mind. I was told I could be autistic. I've been labeled with so many things. You know, I love my mum. She wasn't the best Turkish Kurdish mum when it came to helping me study. You know, I was born left-handed, then I became right. Then she forced me to be right-handed. Then I became left-handed again when I started school. Then she forced me to be right-handed. A little too much on the aggressive side when it comes to education, and I was always very deep and loving. Again, I grew up in a rough part of London, experienced a lot of violence, gang crime. So I didn't have that perfect environment, but you see, I'm 33 now. I'm gonna be 34 on Good Friday when I break my fast, and I have a lot of baby food. I didn't mention that as well. I've had that because I've been on and off fasting for like the best part of 7-8 months. Like, I started off with 1 day, 2 days, did 2 weeks in December, and intuitively I knew that I might start a fast on March, but I didn't know when. And before it hit like the 9th, I was already like on and off food. And I've mentioned this before, but I'd reached that point where because I'd also not just cut off food, like it was the celibacy as well, and it caused obviously difficulties within the relationship. But people are very understanding because of how I am, because of who I am, because how loving I am, how deep, how caring, how maybe too honest I may be. But yeah, today, so this was all very intuitive. So I've been on an intuitive path for the longest time, and it makes sense coming from a lineage of God knows how long Dedes, which translates to grandfathers in Alevism. And we let us hold Gnostic knowledge and they're just elders. There's no hierarchy. Again, people are so free, it almost doesn't, like, I've seen videos of people talk about women's rights, and we're all into politics, and we're all trying to understand things, but something about those lands, something about Mesopotamians, and something even more about Sumerians. Now, I don't want to get into the controversial side, but Anatolian mysticism and Sumerian mysticism is the same thing. When old temples in Turkey have been found, the bones of the people that were found there are the same people that still live there. Nothing's changed. There's so much controversy, so much hate, because there's hierarchy. There's like a hierarchy of a belief system, and this started very early on during the Mesopotamian Sumerian civilization, where people were afraid of what they didn't know. The most powerful thing, which is authenticity now, I guess, but people don't talk about authentic love. I don't think it can even be measured. It's a divine version of love, and I believe that's why a lot of people from those lands are so resilient, so humble. They're almost so humble and so resilient and so loving that a lot of people cannot even comprehend that, and it's a scary thing, and it's not something that I think it's just strictly for for our people, but we all have it, and it's sad that history's been oppressed, but there's also a reason for that, and it's to do with our evolution. It's a conscious thing that's changing in this time, and we can all have it. It's as easy as just facing your fears and facing yourself, allowing yourself to let go to the point where your belief breaks, till your body breaks. I hope I can be a guidance. I hope people can ask me things. A lot of people do, and I'm very deep with people I connect with. I don't label myself as anything. You know, as I said, it took me the longest time till I even went to secondary school, which was a Catholic school in Highgate, till I actually started to pick up and had to have some sort of an ego. People label egos and this and that, but what people get lost in isn't anything other than the loop of their mind. The second you learn to be mindful, the second you learn the four gates of analyzing yourself, so that as long as you learn those four ways, you know, of knowledge, emotional knowledge, that intrinsic knowledge that you're born with, the stuff that you learn, and then transient knowledge, you know, what you read about, is it called a posteriori or a priori? Either one, knowledge you learned, you know, when you really analyze and become self-conscious, and you start reaching or connecting to your objective mindset and seeing what things are, that's just the beginning of understanding yourself. And this, what I'm doing, is made me understand myself in ways and allow me to rip free of psychological or spiritual things in such depth that it's almost hard to believe myself. And yes, I don't want to go back into eating food like I used to. I would much prefer to have a sacred path in eating. But another thing is, I also don't want to be someone who sticks out too much. I already do. And I've never wanted to be under any spotlight. I've always just wanted to be a guide. I guess my name deeply does resonate with that. It's Shuan, which is Kurdish for shepherd. And all I want to be is that shepherd. All I am, I guess, is like my name, but we're never, or rather, I'm never that. And this neurodiverse person I am really shifts around the people that I'm next to. So yes, it was an exhausting day. I got to meet Carlos yesterday. Again, I think I mentioned this, but our energies really spark one another, and maybe that's what drained me. You become not just vigilant with your energy, but you become to understand how sacred everything is. What you do, every step you take, every breath you take, every thought that wants to access your mind, any loop just fades away as you become more in control, as you are in control of your energy and you are aware of the place you live in. And you don't live in time, but you allow your time to resonate within the time you're in. A lot of profound levels of manifestation have been happening, and just a lot of love, deep emotions. Yeah, so this is day 28. I'm gonna upload a video of me and my boy Carson, another angel on this earth, trying to do good and seeing the change. And I'm gonna upload some footage of me in church and some church footages, because it is beautiful. And again, I stumbled upon that place completely by chance. It wasn't nothing planned. My ancestors migrated from Dersim, which is now called Tunceli, with Armenians so they migrated from Dersim with Orthodox Armenians, ancient Christians. It's almost as though there's no coincidence that I stumbled, the universe, destiny brought me to an Orthodox church, whom I got to meet some lovely people. Tyler, Carson, definitely bright and definitely in a place to make a difference here.
But yeah, finally, this is my boy Carson. Yeah, you get to see him, man. We just finished our church session. I'm quite tired today, man. I could barely stand or even sit on the thing. My ass was hurting.
I could see it, and you couldn't stand because you're tired, couldn't sit because you're...
Man. But the most important thing was I got what I needed from that, man. Like the energy was just, especially when they're singing certain... When you're there, there's always something that touches you, you know? It's very moving, but it's, especially like this deep into the fast, I've come to notice a lot of things. I was talking about this with Carson, especially, sorry, I am a little confused, but I was talking about this with Carlos yesterday. And Carlos is a doctor, he's a physician, like more analytical, but he's also a very free person, like always dancing.
So you were talking to him about your
Illuminate. He knows about my fast. He also came to check me up a little.
Okay.
He said, I'm good. I've only got one issue. I've got quite a bit of pain on my lower rib. It's called the floating rib, and because my muscles are like almost gone, there's nothing holding it, and it's very painful.
And that's happened because of the fast, obviously.
Of course, I've lost so much muscle, man. Like, even if I continue, you start losing bone marrow. And I've been like, I've been doing research because I used to run a lot, and I'm a really good runner. Like I can run non-stop, basically. Like I've done hours, and I used to do weights on, so it's easier. And even if I haven't run in months, even a year, like I get right back into it. My body opens up after 1 or 2 jogs. So, but I haven't been very active since I've been working at Crafty. I've just been active working. And I said to myself, once I start eating, I want to just at least jog. Because I have these morning routines where I do a tiny bit of exercising, but I want to keep jogging, which will also let me digest stuff more. Easier to digest.
Do you know that your cold plunges? Did you know that your cold plunges speed up recovery by 4 times?
Yeah.
They basically, if you utilize them properly, give you the same results as steroids.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. I come to notice that. You know why? because I still do exercise at home, like, but they mostly like curated my shoulder because I was getting that pain, and it was because my shoulders and upper back weren't strong, and it was pretty much, and my front delts and stuff were pulling on my back, which was causing strain on my neck. And so I went to a physiotherapist. I spent a lot of money, at least a couple grand. And he taught me some stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can just kind of, I don't have to keep going and spending money. And I kept doing these exercises. I added a few more in there, added some glutes in there and stuff. And when I was like tired from the exercise, like, I could feel my body like hurting. I was just recovering quick because I was taking cold plunges, especially when it was freezing. I wasn't even like, it was like I wasn't even getting that, I forget that, the muscle stuff, what it's called.
It surges your testosterone by X amount of times.
Yeah.
And because there's cold shock proteins that get released that are only get released from cold.
Oh, that's what it's called? Cold shock proteins?
I believe so.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, we finally get to meet my boy Carson now. I'm probably gonna record this whole thing. I don't know if we need to, but me and Carlos were saying this. You were like, I had nothing to hide, man. I wish I could just record everything continuously. You know, I've been also having these dreams though, Carson, like where last night I had an interesting. This thing's a rug. I just come to
Funny you say that because
There's a rug up in the room. There's a rug there